Have you ever wondered why so many of our grandest, most important buildings kind of look the same? You know, the courthouses, museums, government buildings, they all seem to share a certain style. Well, today we're going to journey back to ancient Greece to uncover an architectural blueprint that's still being used all around us, often hiding in plain sight.
So, what does a 2,500-year-old temple have in common with the U.S. Capitol? That question right there gets to the very heart of what we're talking about. We're going to connect the dots between these ancient temples and our modern landmarks, and I promise you, you'll never look at a big, columned building the same way again. Okay, let's dive right in. To really get how the Greeks built these structures that have lasted for millennia, you have to understand their secret weapon. And it wasn't just about being great artists, it was all about the numbers. You see, the ancient Greeks were absolute masters of design because they had this incredible grasp of mathematics. They really believed that ideas like proportion and symmetry were the keys to universal beauty. This let them create buildings that weren't just stunning to look at, but were also perfectly balanced and unbelievably durable. This mathematical precision, that's the foundation of their entire architectural blueprint.
So when you think of Greek architecture, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Yeah, for most of us, it's this, the column. It is, without a doubt, the most famous and fundamental piece of their whole design system.
But here's the thing, not all columns are created equal. The Greeks actually developed three very distinct styles or orders that gave their buildings these unique personalities. So let's break down these three pillars of design. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. First up, you've got the Doric. It's simple, powerful, no nonsense. It just screams strength and stability. Then you have the Ionic, which is a bit more graceful, kind of intellectual. You can spot it a mile away by those elegant scrolls at the top. And finally, the Corinthian, the most lavish of the three. It's super ornate, decorated with all these intricate leaves, a total symbol of wealth and grandeur. Okay, so where can we actually see this blueprint in action? Well, let's head over to Athens, to one of the most famous architectural sites in the entire world, the Acropolis.
Now, the Acropolis wasn't just a random collection of buildings. No way. It was a fortified city, built way up high on a hill. It was a sacred space. I mean, people would travel from all over to give gifts to the gods and celebrate these huge religious festivals. It was the absolute heart of their spiritual world.
And right there, at the very center of it all, was the jewel in the crown, the Parthenon. This incredible temple was dedicated to the goddess Athena. And get this, it once housed a massive, awe-inspiring statue of her made of solid gold and ivory. And this just shows you the simple genius of how they built things. The whole temple sits on this solid platform of three big steps. The posts holding everything up, those were the powerful Doric columns we were just talking about. And then, these columns were connected at the top by these huge horizontal blocks called lintels, which supported the massive roof. It's a system known as post and lintel. Super elegant, super strong, and incredibly effective. So, how does all of this connect to our world today? Well, the story definitely doesn't end in ancient Greece. That blueprint we've been talking about has been copied, adapted, and celebrated for centuries.
And this is no accident. Modern architects have constantly looked back to the Greeks for inspiration. I mean, think about it. The principles of harmony, proportion, and structure, they're timeless, which is exactly why the Greek style never really went away. You can see these ancient roots all over the world, from the Bank of England in London to the Birmingham Art Gallery, and of course, one of the most famous buildings in the United States, the Capitol in Washington, D.C. They all speak this ancient architectural language, and it was chosen on purpose to project a sense of democracy, stability, and timeless importance.
And right here, this is the direct comparison. It's amazing. The Parthenon sits on a platform of steps. The Capitol has a prominent base. The Parthenon is defined by its iconic columns, so is the Capitol. The Greeks used a post and lintel system. The Capitol uses the exact same principles. The blueprint is almost identical, just separated by 2,500 years of history. So I'll just leave you with this thought. The next time you're walking through a city and you pass a courthouse or a museum or a government building with those big stone columns, take a closer look. Because you're not just looking at a modern structure, you're looking at an echo from the past. A 2,500-year-old blueprint hiding in plain sight.